Every day during the liturgical year, we honor different saints. Today, we honor the life and work and witness of St. George and St. Adalbert. St. George was a 4th century martyr of the Church. He was a Roman soldier martyred in Palestine and is most famous for his legendary slaying of the dragon. St. Adalbert was a bishop and martyr of the 10th century. As Bishop of Prague in the Czech Republic, he encountered fierce opposition and he was exiled, eventually being martyred in Poland. The witness of these two saints in modeling the faith led me to reflect a little bit more on where we are today in witnessing to our faith in this time of pandemic. Recently, a parishioner sent me an article entitled, "What the Catholic Church Knows About Charity in the Time of Pandemic." And the article is fascinating because it goes through some of the history of the Church and how the Church has responded to various plagues over the 2,000-year history of the Church. And basically, the conclusion of these authors is this: at the heart of the Church's charity, we find solicitude for the spiritual good and eternal salvation of souls. And this is, and always has been, the Church's primary concern. So without ignoring the physical needs of the people the Church has been called to serve, our primary responsibility is for the spiritual good of our people, and that is the eternal salvation of their souls. Today there's a lot of fear, and I think, along with many others, that fear is causing us to retreat. And that is not something the Church has ever done, nor do I think it should be doing today. Italian historian Franco Cardini, who's quoted in this article, said this: "The true great epidemic of our day is our savage and desperate fear. During the plague of 1630, it was known that death is not the end of everything." And I think in that lies much of our problem today, that so many people are primarily and exclusively focused on the things of this world. And so in a time of pandemic, they're freaked out, because if this is all there is, we have to do everything in our power to control it. And that is the problem. We can't control everything. And that's the difference between our world today and generations past. We think we can control everything when in fact we can't. Now, none of this is to suggest that we shouldn't take common sense precautions, like social distancing, like washing our hands. But the fact that many churches have been boarded up is an outrage and a scandal. And I can tell you, our churches have remained open and will continue to remain open. Both the church in Ilion and the church in Frankfurt, they're open all day. I still hear confessions on a schedule. You're welcome to come at any of those times. We still have exposition and adoration of the Blessed Sacrament on Wednesdays from 9:30 a.m. all through the day and night until 8 a.m. the following morning, Thursday morning. This is critical in a time of fear, in a time when we're not able to receive Holy Communion. We are still able to be in the very presence of God Himself, Jesus Christ, present in the Blessed Sacrament. So even on other days of the week when we don't have exposition, you can come into the church and Jesus is there. And so by you being there, he can bless you. His graces are able to warm your heart and to lead you closer to him just by being in his presence. And so come out of your homes. Do not be afraid. Come to church. I've talked to many elderly parishioners who have been locked away in their homes for 30 days or more out of fear. They won't even go out. Their children have scared them to death. Their children won't allow them to see their grandchildren. I don't get it. I think there's something seriously wrong when we can't even see one another. In any event, we have an opportunity as a church to reverse some of the effects of the terrible scandal of clerical sexual abuse by doing our job now, the most important job, which is the salvation of souls. And so I encourage you to reach out to your pastor if your church is closed and ask him to open it up for private prayer. And I am always available to meet with you for whatever reason, at any time, in any place. May God bless you.